Camping sucks, and this movie proves it. Just saying. Of course, we're talking Passenger, the brand new horror movie that's all about van life that's in theaters right now. It's getting a little bit of hatred. We're going to talk about it. If you guys don't know me, I am Ant. I am your number one movie reviewer, new movie news, chatting about movies. I don't really get into like heavy film, methods and let one little aspect of a film, bother me and just one little aspect of the film can take away the whole movie for me. I'm not that. You see a lot of YouTubers on YouTube doing that, being like, oh, this is one little thing, change the whole movie for me. No. One little thing ain't gonna bother me. I'm gonna give you honest opinions. I am more of a average, casual movie critic reviewer guy on YouTube. So if that's what you're looking for, you found me. But let's talk about Passenger. My expectations going in were honestly pretty low to middle because I wasn't really expecting too much out of this movie because the trailers really didn't interest me, but it was getting talked about, and some of the advertising was actually interesting the way they were doing things. They were throwing don't stop on gas pumps and things like that all over the country. And I couldn't find a gas pump with it, but I seen it online. I seen people finding pumps that, have those in there. And I thought that was cool. But the trailers, every time I went to the movies to see a movie and they played the trailer, they really didn't interest me. I didn't find anything too interesting about it. But you know what? I was like, it's a horror movie. It's something that I could get enjoyment out of. I'm going to go see it. And I'm pretty glad that I did. Like I said, it's getting a lot of hate for whatever reason. And it's not like movie of the year. It's not going to be horror movie of the year. I think we already found that with Obsession. And I feel like that's another reason why this movie is getting so much hatred, because we're coming off of the high of Obsession. And now we're talking awards for Obsession, director, actress. And coming into horror movies from now on, everybody's going to be comparing it to Obsession. And I just don't think that's fair to do. And I want to say, it pretty much met my expectations. This film doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's stuff that we've seen, but it does it good enough to keep you entertained. And that's all you can ask for in a movie like this. So if you don't know what Passenger is about, it's about Maddie and Tyler. They decide to take their life on the road, going #van life, and, traveling the country in their van that they're living out of. And when one day they find a crash site that brings them some kind of demonic entity that follows them around. That's right, guys. This is a supernatural horror film. That's not what I was expecting coming into this. But, shoot. I am a sucker for supernatural things in movies, and it's not bad. So who is this movie for? If you guys enjoy horror movies and you're not a huge film critic, that you're not going to pick apart every little thing, this movie's for you. The movie critics are not having a good time at this movie, and they're just picking this thing apart piece by piece by piece. If you're a casual fan and you enjoy horror movies and you just like watching something that will genuinely give you the creeps, Passenger is for you. So let's talk about some pros. I really, really, really enjoyed the sound design, the sound editing in this film. They did it really, really well to the point where, the way they kind of were throwing the camera in circles was a little iffy to me, but I did like the fact that they had the woods crackling noises everywhere, moving quick. It was very interesting, along with the music that of choice that they picked through this movie really did it justice as well. So between those two things, the sound design is great in this film. It does really, really good to give you that dark, creepy atmosphere, and I think that's really, really good. The acting is mid. The two actors from the trailers that you see, the two guys at the beginning of the film, if you've already seen Passenger, their acting is pretty iffy, but they're only in it for maybe 10 minutes. But you get Maddie and Tyler for 90% of the movie, and their acting is pretty solid. There's nothing. It's not like Best Actor of the Year. They're not going to win any awards for this. But it's good acting for a movie, and that's all you can ask for. So let's talk about some cons. A lot of people are not liking the pacing. It takes a while to get there, and that is true. It does take a minute to get there. And the story, like I said, is not something to call home about. It's not a crazy, crazy story. It's something we've seen before, but it's something that we've seen before that they do a little bit different that you do genuinely get enjoyment out of. It gives you the creeps. It gives you the spooks. And if you're already checking your back seat when you get in the car at night or even during the day, this film's gonna make you check it double hard. You're gonna start opening trunks and throw, if you got a blanket in the back, you're gonna start throwing the blanket up, looking underneath. Like, this movie is gonna make you do that. And I think that's all you can ask for in a movie like this, because I mean, it genuinely gave me the spooks and the creeps while I was in the film. And like I said, that's all you can ask for. But like I said, it's not something that's going to win Best Movie of the Year. It's not Best Horror Movie of the Year by far, but it genuinely gave me a little bit of enjoyment. So let's talk about the cast and if they had fun. I think they genuinely did have fun. Like, you could see like some of that fun to be had kind of translated to the screen. You can tell like some of these people are just happy to be making a movie like this, and congratulations to them. Like, that's good. Like, I love seeing people have fun on the screen, and you can just see it translated to the screen. If you watch enough movies, you can see when the cast is having fun, and you can definitely see that on this film and on the screen. But I really haven't seen too many interviews. I've seen a lot of advertisement. Like, the trailer, I've been seeing the same trailer for the last like 6 months. Even before they announced the release date, they put out the same trailer. Like, we've seen the same trailer for like the last 6 months. Then they started doing the gas station thing. Then, they set up a website. Like, they did do a lot of advertisement for this film. So, and then they kept a lot of the film hush-hush, which was good for it. I think that did it justice. But like I said, I just don't think it's something too crazy. But you can definitely see that the cast did have fun. So let's talk about the standout moment of the film. This is the moment of the film that takes this like the movie to a way darker, creepier, and way crazier moment into this film. Now, if you haven't seen Passenger and you're still here, get out of here, because this is where we're going to start getting to a little bit of spoiler talk. But as I always say, if you haven't seen the movie and you're going to go watch a movie review, I understand, like, you want to know a little bit about the movie. I recommend just checking out Letterboxd reviews and Rotten Tomatoes reviews rather than watching a movie of a full breakdown like this. But that's just me. Let's talk about the standout moment of the film. Now, there are a decent amount of like moments in this film that do get crazy. Like I said, a lot of the crackling in the woods of just like constant spinning is pretty interesting. But I think the standout moment of the film is genuinely when Maddie, I don't know where I got Abby. Maddie is leaving the gym, and she's like walking, and then she starts to hear footsteps. She turns around, there's nobody, and then she sees that the van is getting farther and farther away. And then, we keep doing that for a little bit, and then when she finally gets into the van, she gets attacked, and it's like an insane and intense scene. And it's not like the craziest of it, but this is where it takes the film to a way crazier part, and it actually gets the other character, Tyler, involved a little bit, which is kind of nice. Like, this scene in itself really gave you some chills. It really gave you some terrifying moments, and from this scene onward, it's like up to 100. So let's talk about Ant's 3 big questions. Would I watch it again? Would I recommend it? And is it going to be better on streaming or in theaters? Let's start with would I watch it again? I probably would watch it again. Like I said, I keep saying it's not anything crazy. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but it's something that you can throw on, get some enjoyment out of it, watch it every once in a while, and just be like, oh yeah, this film is pretty good. It is decent. And just, like I said, it's just like a nice horror movie that you could throw on and enjoy. It's definitely like a horror movie that you could get some enjoyment during Halloween time, because you don't really want to watch, like, I don't know, Halloween is kind of like a thing where you could watch really, really, really intense scary movies, or you could just watch chill scary movies kind of like this. And I feel like this is a perfect film for that season. So I definitely probably will watch this every once in a while. Maybe in Halloween I might watch it, or maybe just throw it on every, year or so. Just, oh yeah, this movie is pretty solid. So it is something that I probably will watch again. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend it. It is genuinely decent. I really did get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It is intense. It is, it is a thriller in a sense, because you are like edge of your seat, kind of creeped out. The atmosphere really gives you that spooky, you got chills on your arms vibe, which is good. So I probably would recommend it to anybody who likes that kind of stuff. Like I said, the heavy film critics that are just like gonna pick this movie apart, this isn't for you. This is not a film that you will get enjoyment out of it, and that's very clear seeing some of the reviews that are coming out. Is it going to be better on streaming or in theaters? This film is definitely going to be better at home. It's not something I really would necessarily pay money to go see, because like I said, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It doesn't do anything too crazy where it's like, oh yeah, we should go see this. Now, if you're looking for something and you haven't been to the movies for a while, sure, go check this out, but you probably will get more benefit from checking out Obsession. But it is something that I would recommend, just chilling at home and watching. And it does give you that vibe where, like, I don't really think this is a horror movie that you probably shouldn't watch alone. Like, it's got that vibe to it, and that, to me alone, gives it, like, good horror movie vibes. Like, if you don't think you could watch this alone, that's a good horror movie. So with all that being said, I gave this a 3.5 stars out of 5. And I think that's a genuinely decent review for a movie of this nature. It doesn't do anything crazy, but it is a solid film that you can definitely, find enjoyment out of, a chill, relaxing time that you can also get scared from. And the jump scares are pretty solid. Like, there are some, like, jump scares we've seen before that you can anticipate, but there are some that I was like, oh, that one actually got me. So it does some interesting things with it. The sound design makes this movie what it is. It's kind of like it reminds me a little bit of, like, Undertone, or even, like, Night Swim, because, like, Night Swim, to me, like, a lot of people hated that movie too. To me, like, it creeped me out in a way because I really don't vibe with, like, deep water. And I feel like that is, like, kind of the aspect they're going for. They're looking for the people who are afraid of the woods, who don't like camping. This is kind of like their movie. Where, like, Night Swim was for, like, the people who don't like the ocean, who don't like, deep water. And I feel like that's kind of what it reminds me of. But it does give me those undertone vibes as well, because of the way they do the sound that really, like, holds the movie up in a way that the story really couldn't. I will say, I would be okay with giving this film a 3-star too, but I just got a little bit more enjoyment than I expected, so it was a 3.5. But anything below a 3, to me, is kind of crazy. Like, people are giving these 2, 1.5, 1-star reviews, and I just think that's absolutely unnecessary and insane. But yeah, guys, let me know down below if you guys enjoyed Passenger. Are you going to go check this out, or are you going to go see Obsession? I recommend both. They're both pretty solid. Obsession, obviously, is getting a lot of traction. Everybody's talking about it, so I do recommend that heavily if you're going to go to the theater. Probably check that out. But Passenger is solid, too. I will see you guys in the next movie review. It's been rough. I'm going to start going back to the movies and doing reviews, like, round the clock again. I missed a couple weeks. I've been struggling a little bit. But I'm going to get back into the groove. Peace.